Hey, good morning, chat. Morning, everybody. That daily candlestick is about to flip. It just needs to push down about like 31 pips. 31 pips and we're going to get the daily flip. Considering a sell there. But I want to see, oh, okay, here's the London Open. Here comes the London Open. Here comes the London Open. I want to see the daily kind of flip first. We're coming down 0.05%. It would be, the flip would be right over here. Pretty big stop. I think what I'm going to do is probably wait for these lows here to get broken first. Let's see what kind of setup forms. Big range for the stop there. Also some potential buys above like 33.49. Yeah, it's about like a 51 pip range, but I'm just going to be focused on sells here today. Because yesterday we closed like at a negative 1 point, or at least focus on sells for now. Because yesterday we closed at a negative 1.6, 1.60%. Pretty big bearish candlestick closure over there. See, we've already created the daily highs, man. Actually, that looks pretty nice, though. Look at this. Create the daily highs. We're respecting that 8 SMA over there. Man, if this thing reflips, you know, expecting some serious volume to kick in. Some serious volume can be kicking in here. Once it breaks. So this is the market open. Right here, and then once it breaks these lows, it's a big decision point. Asia lows, previous day close and previous day low. Yes, yeah, it's a pretty big decision point there. That's why I'm thinking, you know. And the thing is, like, if it breaks these lows, I want to see it like really push a volume. If it doesn't push a volume, you know, that can become an issue. But the way the daily is looking, man, it looks like if it reflips. If it reflips over here, it wouldn't have much to do to re-break its own lows. It'll just need to push down even like 3 pips. Even 3 pips. It'll be re-breaking its lows. Look at this. Look at how nice that looks. A little retracement above here, a little SMA, 8 SMA confluence, beautiful range. We're currently coming down. We got Putin and Trump meeting on Friday over here. You know, price should be coming down. What's that? Shotgun play on the daily. Yeah, could it is like a shotgun play. Yeah, exactly. Just need to break these lows. Beautiful top wick there. Man, what's the probability that price reflips and doesn't even give like 20 pips? Like, honestly. You know, 20, 30 pips. Like, look at this thing. How insane would it to be reflipping and breaking daily lows after creating such a healthy top wick to push only like 5 pips and then reverse? That's why I'm expecting a big push from this area over here. Looking at some kind of a resistance and some kind of a support. On the 4 hour, it's a swing entry still playing out. Oh, yeah, true. On the 4 hour, it's a swing entry. It's some kind of a swing entry there with managed risk to continue moving down. That's the NFP move that we were talking about correcting from yesterday. NFP over here. So, and break these lows. Probably going to come down heavy. Probably going to come down heavy here. Nice little SMAs as well. Nice little SMA confluence on the 4 hour. There's an hourly looking. Yeah, it's like an hourly accumulation. It's a pretty big zone over here. So you can see on the hourly, you have this little accumulation going on. So what we're trying to catch is the breakout. And I think we're in a pretty good time here because this is London Open. Question is, where would I put my stop loss? Because it's pulling up quite a bit. Gonna have a pretty fat stop loss. It might try to go up and fetch some liquidity before the move down. Like break above 33.49 first, like this, and then come down to re-break these lows. It could do that. So right now we're trading in between, it's like a 79 pip range. Ranger danger. If it breaks 33.49, it's a swing buy. Yes, possibly, but going against the trend though. I think, like, you know, a move like this, even with a big stop loss, I'm thinking just as long as we're on the right side of the market, it should be good. Because we're having some kind of fundamentals, some possible macros at play. Still a long time to go, but if the 4 hour in 2 hours closes below, it's also going to be the daily flip. It will be a big push on. Yeah, because, you know, the thing I'm thinking here is this could be the move, and if I don't catch this move, I might miss it. You know, I might miss the London session open move. Because the London session open hasn't had a move yet. And the last thing I want to do is look back in hindsight and then say, oh man, you know, I should have taken that move. Because the daily was looking good. The 4 hours looking good. SMAs here were looking good. You know, look at this, man. That daily is about to flip there. That daily is about to flip. 4-hour SMA is looking good. I reckon next time it pushes, the 4-hour pushes through here, it's like once it re-breaks its own lows, it should be looking to push for another, you know, maybe 30 pips at least. You got a new hourly candlestick open as well. This hourly candle has not yet had a move. So it's still pretty fresh. Still pretty fresh hourly candle over there. I think I'll just leave my stop loss above this swing high. Right over here. Well, your morning trade I was in also just fake out at the top of the consolidation for massive push down. Yeah, it was just a fake out. It just wanted to shake people out. That's all it was. But I was anticipating that price was gonna come down. See, it just came up here just basically to shake people off. Just to remove everybody so it can have its move down. So got a bit of a shock in the water over there. It was pretty nice. Pretty nice dump. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting like price to just completely dump. But now it's like it came down here and it's broken into this sort of like a range. Again, so you know this range could still come up like this. But we're anticipating with yesterday's volume that we can continue to see some downside here on gold. I think it'll be a good trade. It's a pretty big accumulation here. You know, it's a massive accumulation. So if we get it, it should be a nice push. Like we also have this general area over here. You know, it's a whole general zone as well. I think, you know, price can break through those levels. At the end of the day, you got to look back at your trade and say, did you follow your rules? Was it a trade that you wanted to take? You know, I think that's all that matters here. I might even adjust this. Look something like this. Just put a stop loss above that area. Nice 7. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna see how this plays out here. Pretty big stop on here. Really want to see a strong push. Yeah, because there could be even a sooner entry at the break of 33.43. But I don't wanna take that sooner entry while the daily's still kind of bullish doji. So I'd rather get that daily flip first. Which VPS should I get? Oh, no idea. I don't use VPS. Maybe someone in the chat who uses VPS could suggest one. Maybe we can get a consolidation 1 minute down. I don't want to trade 70 pip per sell. My account is so small at the moment. Ah, okay. A trade like this, I'm thinking about just letting it rock as well, because there's so much room over here. If we don't get like a clean follow through and we start to create structure, it might still be too soon to manage the risk. So just let it rock. Just risk like 1%. And then just see how it progresses. That's why I don't want to take a sell yet, because this daily, still up 0.13%. It could be trying to hold some kind of level over there. Because man, let me tell you something. If that daily flips, the sellers are gonna come in. We're gonna get the bears in the market. So I think like price is trying to hold off as much as possible. All the bears just sitting down over here. Let's see on the 5 minute. Seeing some really strong pushes since yesterday too. So it could have just been a whole accumulation from the yesterday's New York session. Right over here. So it can break. And then continue with this downward momentum. If it breaks, it is off to the races. Yes. It'll be off to the race. Today we got CPI. Yeah, today we got core CPI. Numbers are supposed to come out like neutral good for the dollar. So getting an increase from 0.2% to 0.3%. It's like neutral good. Man, I really wish that gold comes down, because I don't see any buys. I don't want to take any buys about that area. I actually think whatever, that could be like a little fake out, but there is like some kind of a confirmation here for buys above, like 33.49. I think we had that 50 pip range towards resistance 33.54. But if it goes up there, you know, it's kind of annoying. I don't know what the market will probably just be holding this ranges and then break out towards something like pre-New York or maybe even New York Open. And then the London session could just kind of like hold these zones and then play within this areas like this. But who knows? Maybe we get volume come out of nowhere. I mean, look at this candle here on the 5 minute. This thing pushed up like 143 pips yesterday before market close. Imagine that. We just get like a candle open out of nowhere and then just completely dump. Dump it. Yesterday, the candle rose that high because of Trump, who said that gold wouldn't have tariff. Yeah, Trump said a lot of things yesterday. Got a 5 minute candlestick closing. Just close above a small little resistance, a minor resistance level there. That's not a major resistance. A major resistance would be up here. It's a minor resistance which has been closed on the range. We were on our way. November came. Very oh, okay. There's something else. Yeah, I already took a trade this morning here. I'm down about like, you know, 500 bucks. 500 bucks. Tried to take a sell and I got stopped out. Got a little fakey. I got faked out. But, you know, price still moved down. I think it was pretty good. So some trades you just can't avoid it, you know. Some trade it's like paying the mafia. You got to pay the mafia their commissions. So yeah, let's see now. Honestly, I want to try to go hard again this month. You know, like I went hard in July, taking 51 trades. I don't know if we can get 51 trades again, but honestly, I want to see how I can increase some quantity over here. I mean, so far so good, up like 9%. You know, but I want to see if I can increase some quantity here. My stats kind of look like a railway track here. It's quite interesting. It looks a lot different than what it typically I would be expecting. It's more of like a lose, win, win, lose, win, lose, win, win, break even, lose, win, win, win. What is it? Like the second week? Oh yeah, we're the second week over here. So I want to increase a bit more quantity to see how I can move away from this. But you know, so far so good. So far so good. It's just like whenever it happens like this, I just need to hold more trades. That's the thing. I just have to like hold maybe 1 or 2 trades sometimes. Which is also not a big deal. Oh, you watch some backtesting videos? Lots to cover, still learning? Oh, very nice. Let's go, let's go. Well, whereabouts in Australia are you from? I would say my brother studied in Perth. Oh, Sydney? Nice. Yeah, my brother studied in Perth. Looks really nice over there. super clean, very clean. I think Australia is one of those like really nice, clean countries. You get these really nice areas over there. What was Trump talking about yesterday? That he wants to start having people wash the sidewalks like in some other countries. I think he briefly mentioned something like that. Yeah, Trump went on a rant yesterday. There's a lot of stuff that he was talking about. That's my biggest problem, is holding the trade. Yes, you know, it's the biggest problem for a lot of people. Because, you know, you're just afraid. You're just afraid of having... You're giving back your profits. But that's why you shouldn't look at your P&L. When you're trading, just look at the trading view over here. Because that's where the money is made. Here, it's not made... you know, you can obsess over your P&L, but it's not going to change anything. Just focus on the charts. Pretend like it's day one and you're just learning how to trade. And, you know, you're mainly just trying to focus on these candlesticks. Yeah, this thing's gonna cook for some time over here. I think, yeah, I think it's just gonna cook. Putting the hard pasta in the boiling water over here, and now it's just gonna cook the pasta for us. Cook the pasta. You see, it's kind of hard, the pasta. You know, it's still kind of hard over here. So we want it to fully boil so we can get those noodles. Those little strips become a bit more loose over there. You gotta get a break below support, and then we can probably have that happen for us. But I don't like these. I don't like these really big stops. But, you know, I'm taking this based off of like a higher time frame play. Because I'm looking at the daily. I'm looking at the 4-hour range. And, you know, these 4-hour candlesticks, they can really move. You know, they have a lot of push to them. So that's what I'm anticipating is going to bring the price down. Otherwise, you can tighten your stop loss. Maybe have it a bit tighter into the range. But this is kind of like the setup that I've gotten here. So, oh, you downloaded my journal, but can't seem to. Oh no, go back. Share with others. Oh, okay, I'm on the wrong email. 1 second. Go share with others. All right, so you're gonna have to make a copy of it. So I just gave the access here for the people who have requested so far. You just have to make a copy of the Excel sheet. Yeah, so make sure you go under file and then try and make a copy. Price will just accumulate the order first, maybe. Yeah. But I would anticipate that daily low can still get taken out. These are the Asia lows by today. Maybe not this session, but could still come down like a different time. Take out the Asia lows. quite a nice confluence here. Well, actually, that would be the... No, this would be the market open. On that bullish drive. Right here. Boom. So Asia low would actually be 33.42. Man, there's a lot of confluence here. Oh, look at it. Gold is trying to break above the accumulation. I don't know how that's going to look though. It could ruin it. It's trying to break above here in the 5-minute play. Got like a small little shotgun situation currently happening there. Let me wait. I'm going to remove this. Yeah, I got like a little bit of a shotgun thing. Candlestick just broke and closed above resistance over here. Next candlestick broke above the previous highs. It's looking to potentially come up over there. But I'm still waiting. I want to see if maybe this becomes a fake out. Back into the range. It can just fake out and then do the move down. Yes. So right now, you know, for me, I would be more happy to take a sell. So I'm okay with missing the move upwards. Fakey, fakey. Does look good to drive up. Now creating that bottom wick. Re-breaking its highs. You know, like this should have been the move right here. Because it's playing out one move. And it's not playing out the sells. That's why I figured if it's not going to play out the sells now, it's probably going to range in this area for a bit. Just gotta chill here for a little. Do you think sell to 3,300 is possible? Yeah, I mean, like, if you look at the daily, let's see how far the daily can push. So remember our targets yesterday? So we're talking about daily coming by, I think it was like 33.40, 33.50, 33.50. Push down towards like 33.40 over here, which I think is pretty good. That's like already 644 pips in total from wick to wick on the daily candle. So you can see, like, if we have that same energy today, we could even see something like, you know, 3,300. Go back to psychological mark over here by 3,300. I think that's well within reach. You know, so that's what I'm thinking, man. If this candlestick just flips, you know, all I gotta do is just, you know, sometimes you gotta do is be right about the direction. So if this candle just reflips, I think price can come down towards like 3,300. Oh, but that's 1.73%. Oh, that's gonna be a lot. That's gonna be a lot. But definitely it's gonna be like a magnet for price, 3,300. And we got some levels in between that. It's kind of messing up the consolidation though. There's no more consolidation there. It's doing the breakout now. So I'm gonna remove this. It's breaking and distributing. Currently in a distribution phase. As it's heading upwards to fill up that range. Oh man, what a push. Holy. It's tapped into 65% of that fib level. This is a little shotgun entry. So yeah, now it's just going to be back in the range. We'll see how it goes. If it keeps moving upwards, then maybe I'm going to look for some buys. If we can start pulling up a little bit more. That could be interesting. Maybe by 33.55. I was long too and got out. Nice. If dollar flies to the upside, it may have a 2% move. How is the dollar doing today? Let's see. We got dollar weakness. Dollar weakness. Gold should be moving up. Man, what a nice little shotgun though. What a nice little shotgun. It's moving up here. Ooh, 36%. 0.36. Oh, let me see what's going on here. What are we doing? Why are we moving so much? It's like we're coming to retest the we're coming to retest the previous Asia session dump. Let's look at some fundamentals here. Let's see what's going on. Gold prices steady after Trump says bullion wouldn't be tariffed. Why no rally? Question mark. Man, how do we remove this? Okay, there we go. Gold prices cool post news, no tariff on bullion. Metal is still up plenty in 2025. And the crowds went mild. Shiny asset didn't even try to pop on the news. Instead, it logged its worst day in 3 months, lower by 1.6%. Let's see. Trump lifts tariff threat. Gold prices tumbled when gold bugs got direct presidential assurance. On Monday, Trump declared gold will not be tariffed. Holy man, this could be... Oh, wow. What a freaking distribution there. Maybe it priced it in. Maybe it was pricing in the tariff. It could have been pricing in the tariff. The move downwards. So we could stop moving up today. The relief came after last Friday's ruling from US customers and broader protection. Let's see, you think tariff immunity would give gold a lift? Like when stocks go up if tariff threats go down? Instead, bullion sunk 1.6% on the day to float near 33.50. Its sharpest single session drop since May 14th. Let's see, the move baffled some observers. With gold already up 27% year to date, matching Bitcoin's gain and crushing the S&P 500 sub negative 9% rise. Traders saw no urgency to pile in at elevated prices. No rush to load up. Everyone trade. Yeah, it's probably like a pricing in. That's why we moved down yesterday. It's a possible like pricing in, and we could see price move up today. Then, if that's the case, no rush to load up. Everyone, traders probably. The lack of follow through buying suggests that markets are no longer afraid of any tariff hinting gold prices. Safe haven should be safe for now. Let's see what's next for gold. With tariffs off the table, gold's next big catalyst could be Tuesday's US CPI print. A hotter than expected July number could weigh on the bullion as rate cut bets cool. Again, mixed signals over here. Presentingly, the metal remains in a strong uptrend for the year. But Monday's move shows that it's not unusual for the shine to wear off every once in a while. Quite an interesting distribution this is though. We are getting to trending markets right now. We're up like 0.43%. So I'm going to wait for some sort of entry over here. Man, but you know the thing is, if I get an entry, that hourly candlestick is really overextended. So I don't know if I can survive any pullbacks off the 1 minute. This thing's already pulled up like 140%. So it could be the skyrocketing now to fill this dump or correct this dump from yesterday. It's a really big accumulation that it's currently sitting in right over here. So man, I think you could have a big move today. If Trump has pardoned gold on tariffs, could be a catalyst for why price should move up. You know, because now we're seeing it in the technicals. Now the technicals you know, we can line up the news and see how the technicals are reacting. But when we were down here, there was still like no direction because that daily time frame was at 0%. But now we're starting to have like at least something interesting happen. So we see we got about 20 minutes. So the sell looks good. Yeah, we got about like 20 minutes for candles here to new hourly to open. Make sure you smash up the like button, guys. Would really appreciate it. Got like 231 people in here. How crazy would that be though? How crazy would it be if everyone just smashed the like button right now? Let's try something cool out here, chat. Let's break the matrix for once. Let's break the matrix and see the numbers go up. How crazy would it be? You know, look at this. If everyone just paid attention. You know, some people, they don't pay attention. They're like, some people are sleeping right now. Some people, I don't know what some people are doing. Like you see, it's like 80. It's 80. Got 230 people in here. That thing could literally just skyrocket up like create like some slippage. We could create slippage over there. Just see that thing pop up like 200 pips. You don't want to know what some people are doing? Yeah, some people I don't know what they're doing. And I don't want to know what they're doing. But shout out to the half awake people in the chat. Real OGs listening to this while falling asleep. Got some people at work. Nightbot's after you. Yeah, but I appreciate running it up at least 100 likes though. Maybe some of them are just bots. NPCs. Let's see. I was in but didn't hold because of the consolidation phase and got out of BE. Why did we tap here? Like 40%. Yeah, we tapped 0.47 already on the day. Now it's like 0.37. Let me put like a little line over here. A little line over here. So if you can start breaking above, this is so complicated. This is so complicated. Because there's multiple consolidations here. Like, so I'm kind of thinking which one should we go? Should we break here or should we break above here? By the way, the entry's up here. Should get like a strong push from there then. Yeah, I think what I'll do, because that hourly is still open, and this hourly is like it's a bit overextended for me. Obviously, the market can keep pushing up, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and see with a new hourly open. At least that should give me some kind of confidence, because I don't want to get caught in like a pullback over here, because I could get triggered in, and then price is gonna start pulling back. It's gonna play around, then a new hourly is gonna open, create the bottom wick, and then start moving up again. So that's what I want to try and avoid. And maybe when it does that, it might even give me another opportunity. Boring market today or consolidation? Yeah, it was consolidating quite a lot, even during the pre-sessions. Let's see. Personally, you see a bearish market. Yeah, I see a bearish market too, but if we can come down at least by 33.41, I see a bullish market above 33.55. Because remember, we did have like Trump speak yesterday. So the market, I guess, is just kind of like a getting used to what's the next move, you know? It's kind of getting used to what the next move is. Let's see, by Monday, Trump's direct statement arrests those fears entirely, but the damage to sentiment was already done, with some investors choosing to book profits instead of chasing prices higher. Come on, guys, you can always buy back into gold. Not a bad idea to buy gold. We got like 15 minutes. Yeah, I really want this hourly to close. Damn. I hope the market doesn't give me a hard trade. I want an easy trade. Like yesterday's trade was easy, you know? It was pretty straightforward. Here, man, here, and I've already seen sharks in the water today, so here you gotta think a bit more. But the market has a funny way of putting you in the last very moment into a position. The last moment. For me, the only thing putting me off is that hourly candlestick. That's it. Need that new hourly open first for buys. See, that's an hourly right here. Pushed up from wick to wick about 143 pips. 5 minute could be setting up a dump. Oh, yeah, exactly. If you think that we're going to continue moving bearish from yesterday's PA, it could be setting up a dump. But I want to be bullish above like 33.55. So I'm thinking maybe if price comes somewhere around here, then I could take like a buy like this with my stop loss below this region right here. But I'm still waiting for just a little bit more structure to be formed. And maybe by that time the hourly should be opened up as well. Yeah, so it's a waiting game here. Well, yeah, nice. Luke was looking at this move as well earlier on. You know, sometimes those risky trades, they do end up playing out. You know, that's what I always say. Your worst trades don't always fail. Your best trades don't always work. Sometimes it's the risky trades that you need to be taking. Like this morning, I took a risky trade. But usually when I take a risky trade, typically it has more of like a win. More of like a win. I don't always wait for the cleanest setups. I just see how the market is moving, what I'm expecting from the volume. If the setup looks remotely like what I want it to look like, and then I gotta make a decision then. But you see right now, it's starting to look decent. It's starting to look decent, but I'm just afraid about the hourly candlestick over here since it's moved up so much. You know, I really don't want to get stopped out before the move up, just because the new hourly is creating a bottom wick. I think that will annoy me more than if I just miss the first breakout. Maybe it breaks and then it has a really nice break. But at least I have a whole new hourly candlestick to play with at that point. So I'm letting this here set up for me. Much percent loss? Just 1. I'll just try to risk 1%. And you know, market was consolidating, so I reduced my risk. Market was consolidating here pre-sessions. Goldie's cooking something though. It is cooking. It's trying to break out of this range over here. You see, you guys say it's like a boring day. It's consolidating. Yeah, it's trying to break. I think it's trying to break this area because the daily has come down to this point. And now it's like the wave is crashing. Maybe we can expect some kind of retracement to the upside. But we got about 10 more minutes to wait. 10 more minutes for hourly open. So that's what I'm gonna do. Those 5-minute sells also look good. Little swing entry to the downside with accumulation confluence. There's a nice little breakout here too. Little swing entry buy with the accumulation confluence. Oh, this could look really good. This could start looking really nice. So what I'm expecting is for price to play around this area for a bit. Maybe even give us a little liquidity sweep over there. Maybe even a inverted head and shoulders before the break of the highs as a new H1 candlestick is opening. Gonna bounce between these areas and then accumulate and then to try and continue this bullish momentum that we're currently seeing. That's gonna be my play. Which side will you pick? Yeah, definitely buys. Definitely buys. You know, for the sells could still play out nice, but I would have loved to see the daily still flip. Hey, this could be the 1-minute fake out. See, it's about to close below support. Why am I so sleepy? Yeah, it feels like the hourly, man. This range here is holding. I would love to see this thing hold. The only thing is like it could pull down. It has a better chance of pulling down for the sellers right now as the candlestick is about to close because this is like a resistance point over here. So in that little swing entry model to the downside, that's what it has as confluence. You got like above resistance. You got resistance here with a lot of wicks. So it's easier for it, you know, right now it's easier for it to pull down than it is to pull up. But I gotta be patient and wait. I hope it doesn't pull down too much though, because it's gonna ruin the. It's gonna ruin it. It's gonna ruin what I want to see from this zone. Because you know, every hour candle gives you an opportunity, correct? So it's like you're gonna have multiple chances to catch a potential move. It's a multiple setup. So I really hope this is the one. If this is not the one, then maybe it's gonna be coming in later. It may even come in later here, possibly. Yeah, it's ruining it. I'm still kind of hoping something like this happens, where we get price shoot back up like this, and then come down and then do that, and then that's gonna give me the kind of like head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders in there. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Little accumulation, fake out to the upside. What's that? Mixed bias today? Yeah, I think it's just like, yeah, I guess you could say that. Okay, it's doing it. That's what I drew before. Only thing now is 5 minutes. Like, if we can just hold off the break. It's doing it. Close bearish, next candlestick close bullish. Then we're back in business. I'd love for a little bit more structure to be formed up here as well. I don't want to convince myself too much about this trade. You know, sometimes you marry a trade so much that you convince yourself too much to take that position. You know, you force yourself into the trade even though it's like structure is changing. So that's what I'm trying to avoid to do. Because I know it can look better. Right now, it does not look good. It definitely can look a lot better. Yeah, but this will be the like inception buys. We've had a couple of buys here. You see, this ranges are much nicer because you get like a dip in first. Like price first dips. It first dips and then comes up. You know, here it's a bit trickier because now we really have to be sure that price can have the volume it needs to continue to push. So that's why I'm waiting for that hourly and then seeing how structure is going to look. See, it already put some people in drawdown. So like some people try to like maybe take a break, an earlier break here. And then it's currently putting them into drawdown. Maybe it's going to give them a chance to manage their risk. But that's the thing about people trying to cash these breakouts. You've already had one go of people trying to cash the breakouts. They're in drawdown. Then you're going to have the second go of people, which I was thinking could be the break of these wick highs. You know, it's a very choppy area. So there's multiple places that you could possibly have got it in. Which one is the safest? You know, we don't know. We don't know until it plays out. Sometimes the earlier ones are the safest. We kind of got like a mid-range one. Man, I wish that candlestick closed a little bit more of like a bearish candle because this is like it's like a bearish doji. But I'm sure maybe on another broker it's even bullish. See, like Xauusd here, Xauusd closed bullish over there. It's kind of annoying. How do you read the core CPI news to determine bias? If the number is bigger, is bearish for gold? Yes. If the number is bigger, then it's bearish for gold. You just come over here, Forex Factory, and then go on core CPI, and it's going to show you the previous was 0.2. We're expecting 0.3, so like an increase, which should be greater than forecast, is good for the currency. So if you get something greater than 0.3%, that's going to be good for gold. I mean for dollar, and bad for gold. But you see, the previous ones have been coming out bearish. So I'm still kind of on the fence on this one. Kind of neutral bearish. I mean, just kind of neutral. Neutral bullish. Core CPI. Wait, can we get a swing entry though? No, I don't see a swing entry. Yeah, it's waiting for the hourly open. That's why it's chopping up like that. Yeah, this is a tricky one. I'm going to wait for some more structure. I want it to look a little bit more clear for me. Maybe it's going to come up again, create some more structure, and then get the break of the highs. You just got in on a sell, on the sell at 50% of the range. But it looks like those sellers here got faked out potentially, right? Like you got a little bit of a liquidity situation happening here. Rejecting off of the SMAs. Man, if I was in a sell right now, this feels like a losing trade. This would feel like one of those losing trades where price just goes against me. If it, yeah, it does. Oh, let's see if it respects. See how it's coming down here again. Ooh, it's hovering right by 0.40% now. Dun, 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 dun. Where's this breakout coming from? Okay, so... Because, you know, it could shape up to be a bit sooner as well. So, yeah, it depends on how the structure here is forming. But man, this is going to look really nice. Boom, boom. Inverted over here. I think the safest entry would be above 33.58. Because the thing is, if it comes down like this and then starts to pull up, there could be another entry here by 33.57. Because that's the one I would rather take than wait for a bit more room. I'd rather get in a bit sooner. Yeah, that's the thing. Because you're always kind of thinking like how the candlesticks are going to print before they print. You know, so that way when it prints, you can be ready for whatever the change in PA is going to be. And we see that resistance over there on Owanda. Because the problem is we got some of these doji candlesticks which are a bit confusing. You know, whether that's going to be a resistance. See, like something like Pepperstone, for example, doesn't have that resistance over there. But I think I'll stick with FXCM for this one. Let's see if we can come back up here. See, the sellers are still playing out. It looked like a losing trade, but now it's starting to wick fill. And it could still reverse. I think it happened to me this morning as well. I got like a trade going to drawdown, then it did like a wick fill, it tapped break even, and then it continued to move upwards. Let's see, what are we gonna do here, gold? What are we gonna do? Ooh. Quick pips and wine. Five minutes still coming heavy, coming down heavy there. See what the 5 minutes doing. Quite a strong bearish engulfing. With nice range on the left. It's got some SMAs to get through. Yeah, we could just be bouncing up and down. It could have been nice to start seeing some kind of a follow through. So from this distribution up here, just to like consolidate here and then to continue moving upwards. But it's kind of doing a similar thing that happened previously. Over here, this was during, that was, let's see, it's loading up. That was, towards market close. Nice little push to the upside, top of the range. And then started like loose steam, back to the bottom, little accumulation breakout to the top. It's kind of like doing something similar here. Same thing, came down, back to the bottom, nice little accumulation, breakout to the top. Now losing steam at the highs. This is the second hour into the London session. Are you nervous? No, I'm not nervous. I'm just waiting. Oh. Look at that little liquidity grab situation. Potential liquidity grab there. The only thing I'm quite... Okay, wait, let me see what's going on here. Okay, so we come down. Boom, boom. What is going on tilt mean in trading? It just means it's a term taken from the poker. And it means like when you take a losing position, you're feeling more emotional about that losing position, so you make irrational decisions. So that means you're in tilt. So for example, if I get triggered in here and let's say I immediately go to stop loss, then you get angry at the market. So you're trading on tilt, on emotion. Beautiful little liquidity grab here though, taking out these lows. Do you mostly use 1 minute entry on first leg of trading? Oh, the early hours? Yeah, mostly. But you know, sometimes we have other setups too. Like sometimes you can have a shotgun or a swing entry as well. So the 1 minute actually, you know, works pretty nice with the other time frames too. Because, you know, as we're waiting for this structure here on the 1 minute, the higher time frames, you see, we're still trading like with a higher time frame sort of movements. And we just got the new hourly candles just opened up here. The hourly has not yet had a move. We'll be getting a reflip of the hourly candlestick. It will be re-breaking its own hourly highs. We'll get a reflip over here. On the hourly, it's created the hourly lows. We got 1 hour support over there on the 8 SMA. Trying to see if it makes this pattern a bit easier to see. Right now, it's not the easiest to see because it's creating new lower lows, lower lows. You see how it's coming down? It's gradually, it's more like gradually coming down than it is moving like sideways. So that's the only kind of like tricky thing about this area over here. It's not as straightforward. Do you trade inside a vault? Yes. Trading inside the bank. From the source. You're getting this information from the source, sir. Let me see from here. Boom. Would be nice for it to come up and play around this area for a bit. Actually, if it moved down like this and then started to move up and then played around for a bit and then broke. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait. It's creating your lower low. Oh, look at that hourly push. Bull flag. Yeah, it's creating something more of like this kind of pattern more towards the downside like this. I don't think this is what I want to see. There's a lot of FAGs to fill on the 1 minute and a few on the 5. I tell you, it just wants to punish me for the early 20 pips close. It's coming all the way down. Did we re-break the daily highs? I think we did. Man, for me, those sells still look really juicy though. Like if price was to just, for some reason, just keep tanking down right now. But for the buys, I guess on the higher time frame, it's a little bit cleaner. And we just need to get through these levels over here. And the 4 hour looks really clean on the left-hand side. Could be like a massive 4 hour liquidity grab as well, if that was to happen. Off of this wick right over here, and then start re-breaking the highs. Finally, I found my edge. What did you do? You wrote all capitals. And you're still writing in all capitals. Just below 0.40%. You think it's going to be in this range till CPI? That could be the case, sir. I've been trading in this range since yesterday. Oh, you also think it will be in this range until CPI? Yeah. Since yesterday, we broke into this range from the... yeah, I guess the New York session. London was still kind of moving downwards. It started bottoming out more here towards the NY. By 33.42. Boom, boom. Yeah, even in this range. Like, even if we trade the Asia, since New York session into Asia now, London, we're kind of like at the Asia highs. We actually kind of took out the Asia highs. We did take out the Asia highs. It looks like a liquidity grab above there. See, that's why catching that breakout above here, this area, I want to see like a very clean signal for some kind of volume to be coming in. You know, this hourly candlestick, for example, it hasn't yet had a move. You know, it just retraced down about like 40 pips. So it hasn't yet had a move. We're still just kind of ranging over here, kind of like playing out from these previous sellers. You know, put them already into about 27 pips of profit, roughly 26 pips. You know, so it's still kind of like trickling, but it's trickling on the way down over here. I just passed my 200k FTMO account. It takes me 11 months to do it. Do you have any perspective about this long time that it takes? What do you mean? It took you 11 months to pass the FTMO account? It took you 11 months? Wow, that's really nice discipline and patience. I've never heard that before. Any perspective about this long time that it takes? Yeah, I have no idea. No idea why it's taking so long. Maybe you're just being extra careful. But it's pretty long. Most people are gonna blow that account within a month. Or they're gonna pass it within a month. So I hope it's worth it. You know, I hope it's a pretty big account over there. Because if it's taking that long to make those gains, then when you're actually trading, you know, you're also gonna have to make it really worth that time for waiting so long. I would take 11 months also to make 10% if I was trading like a lot more capital. You know, that's why hedge funds only make maybe like, you know, 5%, 10% a year. But they're trading so much money that 5 to 10%, a retail trader can only dream of having that money. That same 5 to 10%. And every hour you get a new candle forming. Yeah, it's back to the waiting game. The 5-minute does look like it's coming down, weakening from the top of the range. Could have been just a liquidity sweep off the Asia, coming to take out now the previous buyers from this zone right here. Remember we had that little shotgun entry from this point? How the candlestick broke above. Look at that. Nice little SMA confluence in there too. Beautiful clean range. That just got mopped up here. So that's why it's like, man, if you take a buy here, you want to be very careful. Because it's already coming from this zone. Over here. For the sellers, you know, maybe the sellers can just come back into this range. That pattern looks manufactured. What pattern? What price is doing currently? Or this whole thing? I mean, that liquidity grab definitely looks a little suspect though. It's like, why would the market have to come all the way up here by 33.57 just to take out those highs to pull back downwards. So definitely I've seen today we have some kind of a shock in the water. Unlike yesterday. Yesterday's PA was pretty nice. It was very clean. Today's PA is a little choppy. Hey, Rata 007, thank you for the sub, man. GJ buys. GJ's heading up towards 200. Psychological mark over there. We're not even that far off anymore. We just need about 42 pips. Daily candle is up 0.30% on GJ. It does seem like it's going to be heading towards 200. Looks like, 200 is a very important zone here for pound yen. And it's funny because we got the rate cuts on the pound recently and price didn't really move down. But now we're still going to be moving upwards. So hopefully that UK economy there is going to have some kind of a recovery. Because if you look at the pound, man, this thing has been stuck in a really, really big accumulation. Wait, let me go on the daily. A really nasty accumulation over here. Because I remember ever since we broke into this accumulation, trading pound has been kind of hit and miss, like very hit and miss. So that's why I decided to focus more on gold. But you see, now we could have some redemption here, redemption song, Bob Marley style, if we can break above 200. Yeah, I think that's gonna be good. Gonna break 200, and then we're gonna see some quarterly targets over here, Met. Go on the quarterly time frame, go like quarterly resistance by 203. And I think, we should start moving up again. Because price is moving up anyway. Pound, typically speaking, we're expecting more bullish PA from the pound. And man, it's such a nice pair to trade. If you're a directional trader, there were these times, I think like last year or the year before, like price just kept moving up. It just kept moving up. But yeah, this is not looking too appetizing for me now. If people are looking for sells, you're probably still looking at the overall PA from yesterday. From yesterday's sell-off, which does look pretty nice bearish. But I'm just trying to catch like the break, the main break from this area over here. So that's either going to be sells below 33.42 or buys somewhere around here. But definitely the buys are not as easy to catch as the sells are. I think the sells would be a little bit easier to catch. And I would have more confidence in the sells because of how we've been moving since yesterday. Hey, Jesse. Is there a little small accumulation break here? Is rate cuts good or bad for a currency? A rate cut is bad for a currency. It's good for the people. Bad for the market. So it's like weakening the currency. Rate hikes strengthen the currency. Now, it's a nice tool. Interest rates is a nice tool for developing economies. Like the Japanese yen don't really put interest rate hikes because they keep their currency low enough to have foreign investors come in. So it's a nice little strategy. And I think now the US is trying to cut their rates as well for some reason. I'm not sure why, but we're waiting for September. September over here. We're expecting rate cuts on the 17th. So this is going to be like a 80% probability. In trading, it's all about probabilities. So, 36 days, we should have an 80% or 86%. Looks like 84.5% probability on the rate cuts. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Some of you guys have like 60% hit rate on your strategy, maybe even less. This is an 84.4% hit rate. Oh, what do you see? Win percentage? 84.4%. Not bad. It's pretty high up there. I saw like some hedge funds were even thinking about 4 rate cuts by the end of this year. Man, I saw that headline and it just seemed too crazy. 4 rate cuts. When do we even have the time for 4 rate cuts? How does that even work? We got September, October, and December. 3 chances for next. We gotta have 3 more FOMC meetings. But definitely the dollar is looking more bearish towards the end of the year here. So if you're on Bitcoin as well, I think, man, your Bitcoin portfolios are probably going to be looking good there. Bitcoin's probably going to be looking good soon. I suspect this thing... Oh, look, we had a retracement yesterday. But I suspect this thing can keep heading up here to like 130. 130 psychological mark. So you have something to look forward to. You know, because I have friends who invest in like cryptocurrencies, but they know fuck all about the markets, you know. They just buy. They just buy and hold. So I think it's pretty nice, you know, when you can give your friends some kind of like insight and say, oh, you know, on this day we're going to have this happen, so you can expect this to happen. I think it's pretty nice. Because otherwise they just see these fluctuations, but they don't know like what's going on in the market. Where did you check your news on gold? That's Forex Factory. This is the one that all traders, not only retail traders, but all traders use this. You know, it might not be necessarily forexfactory.com, but you know, this is where it gives us the scheduled fundamentals, which are really important, like the jobs data, the non-farm payrolls, that sort of thing. This is pretty nice over here. You got Forex Factory to check your scheduled fundamentals, which happen like every month. It's the same thing. What I would recommend people to do is just come onto your filters and untick the yellow one, because the yellow one will just give you noise. I think the most important are the red, orange, and white. The white because of the bank holidays. Yeah, but today the only thing I'm focusing on is this core CPI on the day, so that's about it. But I'm not going to be on the chart during that time, and that's a beautiful thing about trading the pre-London, London, and pre-New York times, is you literally avoid all the fundamentals. And whenever you're doing your challenges, you want to be trading around the news, correct? So you don't want to lose based off of stupid news. You rather lose based off of technical analysis. Just need to save 4 rate cuts to make some money. They buy today and release the news tomorrow. Done. Yeah, they could manipulate. Because why would they tell you, right? At the end of the day, why hear a statement from Goldman Sachs and then why listen to it? When was the last time Warren Buffett told you he was getting into an investment before price moved up? You know, they get in earlier. They get in earlier, and then it's much more better that way. Because if they have the ability to move the market, they need to have these kind of discretionary positions, correct? So if everybody is getting in, then I think also that creates a lot of slippages. But it's still nice to hear what they say, you know, every now and then. Notice you've had switch in strat from London session. Very interesting. Oh, from London? Yeah, from London. I've had like, not really a switch in strat. I'm still using the same strats, but I want to see the markets give me more direction first. Because, you know, for London, we haven't had too much direction. Of late, we've been having direction. But then what I noticed is we didn't have direction for such a long time. So now I've been waiting for London to prove to me that it actually wants to move in a certain way. So I'm still using the same strats. So if I get like a swing entry model over here, I would take it. But I don't think I will. I'm most likely going to get a consolidation breakout. If we were just trading like usually, then I would have just taken a buy over here and we would be done already. This would be from the market open for price to keep filling this range on the left hand side. Have like a little shotgun play entry or like a swing entry model over here for price to move up. See, it would be done. Or maybe even if I miss that move, then I could have gotten this sell over here. Stop loss above. This is another swing entry model. You know, and then that's also playing out. So far, you know, they're playing out. The moves are playing out. It's just not giving me what I want to see. Because I'm not going to switch now. I'm not going to switch now because this has been working for me. Maybe when I see this happen enough times, we just go back to normal execution. But for now, we just need that little extra confluence. But yeah, these cells here, they look really good from yesterday. Man, I'm still waiting on that daily flip. Look at this daily candlestick here, chat. Look at that thing. That thing is itching. It's itching to come down here to reflip and break its lows. It's got an itchy butt over here. Look at it. Little bottom wick over there. It's creating a top wick. And you got the 8 SMA. We're going to be holding that 8 SMA beautifully. Man, this candlestick, when it comes down, everyone's going to be looking for sells. Everybody and their grandmother is going to be looking for sells over here. Because it's just going to look so good. Then you're going to create a top wick. You're going to have a really massive top wick like this. And then some really beautiful clean range on the left-hand side and high time frame volume on the flip. You know, you get these high time frame candlesticks flip and you get that volume come in. So that's what I was kind of hoping for when we got the London Open. But you see price moved up instead. It moved up. I thought maybe we can keep moving up. No entry confirmations. Now it looks like it's coming back down. But we still have to wait for some sort of entry confirmation here. As I said, the market is not as straightforward today because it's overall ranging. How's the monthly so far? Oh, monthly has been ranging as well. You know, previous monthly candlestick closed like a bearish doji. Quite crazy to think the whole month just consolidated and then we closed exactly like at the previous month's open. Like a doji. You know, like the gold market hasn't had any fundamentals of late. We're mainly waiting for those rate cuts. I feel like, I don't know why gold is, it's said I'm not going anywhere anymore. Even with war news, I'm not doing anything until we get the rate cuts. Because, you know, there's a lot of correlation work that happens on the market. And when the market makers trade, obviously they have a much larger portfolio. Correct? So they don't only like trade gold and expect one thing from gold. So I think the way their portfolio is set up right now, it's set up in a risk-off kind of way, where they're just kind of mitigating risk until we get the rate cuts in. Now a little bit more word on the tariffs and that sort of thing. There's a lot of uncertainty. So I guess it makes sense why prices like this on the monthly. But once the direction kicks in, holy. But at the same time, you know, it's given us some kind of opportunities on these intraday timeframes. Because if they can't move the higher time frames, let's just say the smart money can't move the higher time frames, they're going to be looking to maybe make some nice moves over here on the intradays. And that's what we've been noticing of late. Man, like, look at this. Look at these trades over here. Look at how my trades have been playing out, like with so much volume. So I think it's like kind of trading the trenches. You know, so we're getting really, really nice pushes in the trenches. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. This grandma just learned about the daily flip. Yes, sir. At least that's one thing that brings us all together, you know. The ICT guys and the trendline folk and everybody else, kind of like we can come together over here because we all understand what a daily candlestick flipping means, especially at this time over here, you know, after creating our daily highs. I don't think anybody will be looking to buy, you know, as a daily candlestick, even if you got FVG there, even if ICT himself said buy here, you would also be skeptical. Just because of how much that higher time frame volume can seriously kick in. You know, I love the higher time frames. High time frame pushes. Is money made, earned, stolen, or inherited? I don't know. I'll probably say all of the above. All of the above, to be honest. And people who have a lot of money, they don't have like super clean money. You know, it's hard to have a lot of money and have it all super clean money. You know, there's always something going on. Sell that sheet. There's always something going on, man. There's a lot of red tape in life. You know, you could work for the United Nations and think you're doing pretty good for the world, but you know, the United Nations also has a lot of bureaucracy, and they say a lot of those donations don't even go to supporting programs. There's the way the money has been spent is not really transparent. So there's no such thing as super clean money. I think, isn't that why Trump was pulling out from these organizations as well? So wanted to stop giving them money. There's documentaries about this. Or is it called United Nations UNEP? Is it U? UNEP is a UN environmental program. Man, I used to want to become I used to really want to work in these organizations. I used to be part of those in school. We used to have these kind of like clubs, the Model United Nations, and we would go to where they used to debate, and we would be like delegates of different countries, and you know, we just like simulate. It was like a simulation, and we would simulate like arguments and topics. I think it's pretty cool. Good money in that as well. Really good money. Lots of nice bonuses. To give you a car, pay your children's school fees, give you allowances. It's a really nice job. Only problem is like, you know, you're gonna get relocated to different countries. You might not want to work in Nigeria, for example. But working in Nigeria means you earn more money because a lot of people don't want to work in Nigeria. So there are those types of things that you really have to consider. No hate to Nigeria. It's just the way it is. I have friends who work at the GIZ over there. So if you're German, you know the GIZ, and they're working in Nigeria and they get paid a shitload of money. As opposed to if they put you somewhere comfortable. Man, look at this thing coming downtown. This is what I want to see. This is what I want to see price break below 33.41. But I still don't got an entry confirmation. Oh, now you help us, same thing, and we help our families. Yes. Yeah, I mean, you can definitely at least providing value on a different level. Different level for sure. This is still need to come down here about like 42 more pips. See that daily is really pulling back here. Look at that healthy top wick that's been formed. Healthy top wick. Now we're having that 8 SMA holding the daily candlestick. Look at this. Man, if this thing flips and breaks its own lows and doesn't keep moving down at least 30 pips, that'll just that would really suck. You know, because after all of this, man, after all this accumulation here, it must push down at least 30 pips. You know, they say the bigger the range, the bigger the breakout. Downtown to pound town. Even for us Africans, I'm Moroccan, and when you have a mission like in deeper African country, you're paid a lot of money. Yes, everybody. It also depends on your, I guess, on your level, how high your ranking is, but you definitely do get paid quite well. And you know, you get paid well for where you're also, even if you consider also where you're living as well. You know, where you're living, that money also goes a much longer way. Because, you know, earning $5,000, let's say in those deep countries, is a lot of money, you know. But earning $5,000 in New York, maybe it's not that much money. But the tricky thing is to earn the money in New York and then move to a third world country. Because, you know, people, for example, who live in that city, yeah, maybe they want to live somewhere else, you know. But the tricky thing is, how can I earn the same amount and then live somewhere else? But if you can do that, if you have your own online business, maybe you're a trader, then I think it gives you a lot more flexibility. When should entry now? Entry, I'm waiting for price to still come down a bit more. Here. 33.42. I at least would want to see price come down at 33.42. But I don't know if I want to impulse buy off the whole accumulation. I'll probably not. I'm going to wait for some kind of more recent structure to build here. Because I don't want to just take it based off the overall accumulation. I'd rather just wait for price to first come down a bit more, and then we can create something a little bit more recent before the drop. I wish I could swing entry this, but there's no swing entry here on the left-hand side. Maybe unless you're trading off the H4. The H4 looks good. See, H4 wants to start breaking below here. It's curtains for gold. They should come and correct this NFP push upwards. Please help. What do you mean, please help? Just open your ears, sir. I'm explaining to you what needs to happen here. I definitely thought triple bottom, that's bullish. Why so ranged? Oh, triple bottom? Oh, nice. You caught the shotgun entry here. Awesome. This says pretty clean buy. Guess we're just ranging. You had the confluence that we're at the bottom of the range. And you see it came to the top of the range. And then that's where the cells started to come in again. Oh, and your phone's about to die. But that's where the cells came in. And you caught the buy over here. Made a lot of sense. Man, I miss this. I miss MetaTrader so much. It looks so clean. Oh, you got some, a bit of chickenness, but these chickenness, they paid out in the end. So you can post us your profits now. And you had a better chance of a runner, you know, as compared to this move. Because even though we're 50-50, if you're just looking at the previous daily volume, down 1.60%. Which is apparently the worst drop we've had on gold since May. Yeah, since sometime in May. You definitely still have a much more bigger edge for the sell continuations than the buys did. Alright, you got some nice sells here too. Wait, console break setup, secured 40 pips. Nice trade in and out. When was this? Awesome. So on the 5-minute, it's like another swing entry model here today. Oh, it looks like this wick had come down to do some kind of business, some kind of liquidity grabs, taking out positions before it pushed upwards. Man's phone is just slowly dying here. Okay, now I think you're charging it. Or what is this? You know what's so funny? You guys ever see those videos on the internet where people are floating in so much profit, but their phone is literally about to die? Those things kind of put me on edge. Bro, you have all this profit here. Dun, 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 dun. Also, GJ soars high. Yeah, it's back in the gulag here, where price was previously consolidating. I blew my funded account just after passing it. I tried so hard to pass it though. Yeah, it takes a lot more work to keep it. Just like making money, you know. It's easier to make money. It's easier to make money. It's easy to make money, but it's hard to keep it. It gets easier to make money once you have sort of like a system, you know, a system that works, or like a structured business of sorts. It's easier to make money. Keeping it is difficult. Because, you know, you got a lot of people who pass funded challenges, but they never keep it. Because the passive funding challenge, you know, realistically, you could do it like in 2 trades. You could get a hit. You could get 2 trades in a row. You know, it's not so hard to get 2 trades in a row. It's a longevity of it all. Yeah, that's a good one, Explorers. So tell us your mistake. What happened? Why did you blow it? Well, you probably either overtraded or over-risked. You know, those are the two ways that most people fail. Overtrading and over-risking. What's funny is you told me earlier you'll blow it after getting it. I tell you, man, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like when we have a psychological mark in the market, you know, let's say like, what do we got? 200 on GJ. We got 200 here on GJ that we're heading towards 200. That's why I've had this mark here the whole time. You know, I think this is like going to be a magnet for price. The self-fulfilling prophecy here that price moves there. I remember reading a book about this once, or it's like an audiobook or something, but it's like when the market has a target, it's always going to go towards that target, you know? It's like a heat-seeking missile. Damn, English is a problem here today. But let's say if we're looking at 204, it doesn't matter what's happening, that the market is going to go to that level. You know, it could have retracement, some volatility, but it's going to be attracted to this level like a magnet. And that happens on the higher time frames, and it also happens on the lower time frames. That's why whenever we have a shotgun play entry over here, we're thinking, okay, you know, if price breaks above 33.49, then it's going to be looking at least 33.54 to at least fill some of this range over here. You know, this is something that we've seen happen over and over and over again. You know, it's literally the same thing that happened even back to back right over here. It broke below the lows, and then look, it came down towards the next support. So these levels are like magnets in the market, you know, and the more confluences you have in those levels, the better. So I think, you know, 200 is a pretty important one here, and we should be breaking above it soon. Just the same way, if you got a profitable system, it should be a self-fulfilling prophecy that your system will deliver the profits as well. You know, even if you go through like losing streaks and, you know, hard times, you just keep going. You know, you just keep going because of all the data that you've collected, and you just believe that the system is going to open up. Like for me this month, I haven't yet had an open space. Like I haven't yet, I like to think about this like an open field. And you know, these are like these open fields. I haven't yet had an open field yet. So I'm like taking trades, you know, winning a couple, losing one, winning, losing, winning, losing, winning. So I have not yet broken into my open field yet. I thought I'll be breaking into it here, but we had a shark in the water today. But that's just how I look at markets. That's how I look at my results. This thing is coming down real nice. 0.10% now. Can we still catch this move? Because in 10 minutes, we're going to get the new hourly open. And to be honest with you guys, this next hourly open here is not having that much volume. I usually expect the one from after this one to have more volume. That 6 a.m. open. But we'll see how the 5 a.m. candlestick does here today. Look at the way these hourly candles here are barcoding. Super close to each other. Really nasty PA. Loads of whips in here if you're not careful. Japanese college guys going and studying UK are screaming GJ getting 200. Yeah, GJ getting 200. Also, the Miss Watanabes of Japan are screaming this. GJ 100. GJ 100. Miss Watanabe, also known as kimono trader, is a term gained prominence in the early 2000s, representing a stereotype associated with Japanese retail traders who are housewives. There's a really nice documentary on this. So how Japanese housewives... let's see, how much do they do here? How Japanese housewives outsmarted global finance. I haven't watched this one though. Women are much better than men when it comes to managing money, you know, managing money, being less emotional, having less ego in the markets. You know, because men, man, sometimes can be very emotional. So much ego. Too much ego. But in the market, you know, it's not a good thing. Ego is a good thing for survival. You know, if you got to fight somebody, for example, you know, ego is a good thing. That's what UFC fighters and boxers strive off of. But in the markets, you just get humbled. It's like fighting the boss level. You know, it's like the boss level, which you cannot defeat, which is the market. You cannot defeat the market. People have to humble themselves when it comes to the markets, because you just need that one day where you tilt, where you revenge trade, that you're going to give back all of your gains. Just one day. And the market will catch you on that day. See, we're not so far off here. We just need to push down 44 more pips. Come on, Goldie, give me 44 more pips. Yeah, very interesting day today. It's not as quick as the other days. We had to wait here. We've been waiting here for long. If we get a trade, this trade will be the longest wait we've had in a while for this London session. But the funny thing is, like, price is moving. It's like swinging a lot. You know, you had like the swing up here, and then you're gonna get you just had like a swing down here. Swinging a lot. The annoying thing, it's swinging within a range. Massive consolidation. Oh, you got another swing entry for a buy above. Yeah, the annoying thing is doing it here within this whole area. But yeah, it's true. I mean, there's another like space here, like 67 pips. You hate trading days like this? Because what I'm thinking is, if I don't get my move in the next, like, within this hourly candle, I'm just going to go and do something else. And then come back to the market and see what's happening. I would love for us to be at least close down towards these lows. Because we've already made this whole move down. We might as well just continue pushing down for that daily flip. And not go back up. Let's see. Ultra wealthy are piling into a centuries-old gold trade in Asia. In Asia's ultra wealthy circles, some family offices are now bypassing the middlemen and jumping into the gold business itself. They're financing, shipping, and flipping bullion like traders. Take Cavendish Investment Corp, a multi-family office run by the former chairman of Hong Kong Jewelry Company, which is allocating roughly a third of its portfolio this year to a physical gold trade. Yeah, I was telling my friend, like, man, you should invest in, he's in like in ETFs, cryptocurrencies. I'm like, why not invest in gold? You know, gold is going to move up. Going a step beyond index trackers and vault holdings, precious metals dealers, okay, and Goldstorm are also trading with the region's ultra-rich clans. Let's see, Cavendish sources gold from small-scale mines in Kenya. Hey, shout out to Kenya. And elsewhere in Africa, flies it to Hong Kong, refines it, and sells it at market prices to wealthy clients across Asia and to Chinese strategic buyers. If this sounds like a 19th century trading house, that's about right. Okay, so they're sourcing gold from small scale mines in Kenya. Okay. Flies it to Hong Kong. Refines it, because I know there's a trade between Kenya and Dubai where, like, you know, gold is taken to Dubai, it's refined over there, and then it's been sold off, it's been flipped. Famous Kenyan politicians who have been very well known for doing this, and now they're living in Dubai. Not gonna mention any names, but there are very nice documentaries made on them. Actually, I have a friend who works for one of them, but that's a story for another day. Tells me some really crazy stuff, you know. He earns some pretty good money though. We believe we have a window of about a year to capitalize on this opportunity. Let's see. Uncertainty over the status of gold and President Donald Trump's sweeping tariff agenda has plunged the market into fresh turmoil in the recent days. You know, the thing about the environment right now, there's so much uncertainty and there's so much going on. It's also at the same time creating some really nice opportunities. Really nice opportunities. You know, so I think right now people are just sitting on their hands waiting to take advantage of this. You see, anywhere you go in Asia, everyone buys gold in much larger portions than they do in the West, said Patrick, executive director at Goldstorm. People hold gold because they know they can always liquidate it on rainy days. Rain, metaphorically speaking, is in the forecast. The US dollar has been wobbling under the weight of a ballooning US debt deficit and potential interest rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. That's a scenario which non-yielding gold's haven appeal. Okay, so gold is just moving up now. Okay. Appeal is likely to shine even brighter. It's a really nice article over here. I actually want to read this. It's pretty long though. We anticipate that in about a year, the market will start to cool down as geopolitical issues ease around the US midterms in 2026. About a year, the market will start to cool down. Yeah, I mean, geopolitical easing's already in the horizon. You know, these meetings coming up as well with Putin and Trump. But there's always going to be something, you know. There's always going to be something. Let's see. The unprocessed gold arrives at a specialized cargo terminal at a Hong Kong International Airport and moves swiftly to local refinery for fire assaying. Days later, it's headed to private vaults or across the border to mainland buyers, some of which are state-owned companies. Yeah, this government's involved in these gold scams. I don't know if you call it a gold scam, but yeah, government's always involved in these things. Given the premiums people are willing to pay for gold. I think, is it in like even Zimbabwe is one of those countries which are really hit by this you know, kind of looting that's going on there with the gold. Might be wrong, but I think it is. I think it is Zimbabwe. Willing to pay for gold. It's going to attract more people and bigger players. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Price on gold. Loads of opportunities here. I mean, for me this year, for scalpers at least, for day traders, you know, it started off a little bit wobbly, but we've been noticing a lot more volume coming in on these intraday timeframes, starting to kick up. I mean, this was the first time I ever did 50% in 1 month, which was last year in July. You know, and it's only possible if the markets are moving. You know, if they're not moving, what's going to happen is you're going to take a lot more losses, and then that's already going to be a sign for you that you should just limit the amount of trades that you're taking. But yeah, now we got the daily here. It's just hovering. It's hovering at around 33.42. Pity the countries that have the gold rarely profit from it. Yeah, because they can't, you know, they don't have the industry like gold or minerals and stuff like that. They don't have the what is it, the equipment to refine it and do all that stuff, which is a bit weird, because I think they would make a lot more money if they just invested in that equipment and then did it themselves and then sold it off to the West. But that's politics for you. Even like countries like Papua New Guinea, man, Papua New Guinea has a lot of oil, you know. But if you look at the family there, the president's family, I think the kid was like living in London and, you know, spending a lot of money, and most of that oil doesn't go back into the, most of that money doesn't go back into the country. Like Papua New Guinea is pretty underdeveloped, like for the amount of oil that they were producing there. So yeah, that's just politics. Politics is a dirty game. It's like gold is trying to move up here now. It's trying to push up. And all we need to do is just come below here. This is literally all that I need gold to do today. Break below 33.42. Have you had a look at what's new? Yeah, we don't have anything here. It's like stay informed with even more sources in your news feed. CME Group. Nothing. You know what TradingView should have, and I think they're kind of leaning into it a bit more, is using AI to do their fundamental work. You know, there's some companies out there which are already using AI. I feel like it's too complicated, so it's a bit too much. But I think TradingView can do it nicely. They're kind of using it a bit like sometimes you'll see these fundamentals, like the latest updates, they're gonna be summarized for you here at the top. It doesn't always happen. But it would be interesting to get a bit more AI features into that. Or like even give us an option for getting like flash news, you know, like getting notifications or something like that. Because you always got to check down over here and see, oh, you know, we just got a flash news or something happened. You have to always check. So that would be a nice little update there. Get some noties. Because otherwise, you got to go on live news here on Discord or Financial Juice and just wait. Coming soon, actual real-time news on your TradingView chart. Yo, what is going on here? No freaking way. Seriously? Man, we just literally spoke about this and it's the first thing that came here. Man, that's wild. Financial Juice coming soon. Actual real-time news on your TradingView chart. Man, that is crazy. Let's freaking go. Yeah, I got some people here. Very cool. Amazing. This is Game Changer. Are you already in the news feed? Anticipating. This is going to be sick. What does this mean? Why does that look... It doesn't look very well integrated though. Oh man, this is awesome. The markets are listening to us. Yeah, I mean, this is, they should integrate this somehow nicer. Sick. Man, that's wild, chat. Like literally the first thing that pops up here on the live news on the Discord. Yeah, like Goldie's just doing swing entry models up and down. Not getting what I want to see. Yeah, it needs to be blended in more. Yeah, exactly. It looks like I think maybe they were just demonstrating with a screenshot of sorts. Could be nicely integrated though. Probably be charged or delayed for free version, as Financial Juice is a subscription, maybe. Today's a swing day. Just got another trade. Nice, yeah. This one here has pushed how many pips? About like 28.7 pips. Straight profit, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, what's up, Woods? Oi, oi. $4K gold is guaranteed this year. Yeah, it looks like we can do it. We could do it. We could do it. We could do 4K this year. It's definitely within reach. Heck, we could even get as far as a 3800, 3900 on October. If we get those rates in. Yeah, that's crazy. Like 3 back-to-back swing entries, but all happening within like a equilibrium, you know, with a mixed bias, basically. I would say more buys would have felt good above 33.55 and then sells on the daily flip. I thought you were mega bearish. Yeah, I am mega bearish, but you know, it just depends on the market. If it doesn't break below that support, then most likely then we can start to have some kind of retracements up. So it's always about having like two biases, you know, like you don't want to be too married to a bias, even though the sells do look really clean. You don't be too married to the bias, because what if price just moves up today? You know, that's why I'm looking at that 33.55 level. If we can just keep pushing and respecting above that zone, that could just mean we might see more of a bullish day. And then that way you're gonna have more opportunities for yourself. $4K is crazy, not possible. It is possible. If you look at the monthly volume, we could get up there for sure. Look at this. All we need is like even a month that we had here in April. If we get a month like April from wick to wick, you know, we could have like 3,800. That's just even 1 month. Let's even take the month before that. That's in March. You see, March month, it did about this much of a push. So you see, we got 4 more months. You got 4 more months. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 more months for these moves towards 4K. You know, especially if you get people like Goldman Sachs saying we're gonna getting 4 rate cuts. Like if we're getting back-to-back rate cuts, then in this year, and I think they said in this year as well, 2025, we could see price definitely come pretty close or even tap 4K. It's a bit of a stretch, but for sure, you know, the market can surprise you. Like you'll be surprised because, you know, we've been accumulating here for so long. Man, look at this accumulation. I mean, the short-term targets for me personally, we break 3,500, maybe head up towards like 3,800 over here. But man, look at the size of this accumulation. That's really nice. Some people take the range of the accumulation as well to measure how far price can push. And in that case, we're going to be seeing like 3,900. 3,900 if you just take the range from wick to wick. Because once we get the breakout, we're expecting some really good distribution. Volume is starting to pick up. Big 1-minute candles. Hey, Sports, thank you for the sub. Yeah, October or November, I can see the push. Are you pro marriage? What does that mean? I mean, why not? You know, the problem is a lot of people just get married too early, you know. They get married with too many of their own problems. That's why the divorce rates are pretty high up. Above 50%. I'm pro getting your shit in order before getting married. That's what I'm pro. Because, you know, people feel pressure, like a lot of pressure. You know, there's also like arranged marriages and a bunch of those things. I'm not pro arranged marriage though. You know, but I feel like they all have their own agendas. You know, arranged marriages sometimes just making the family more powerful. So I think it's a bit complicated, but the best thing for most youth is just to get their life in order before committing. So did I miss any TFX knowledge today? Yeah, I mean, like so many swing entries. You know, we had one over here, shotgun entry model 2. There's one down here, and then there's just one that's just playing out right now. It's all happening in the middle though. It's in the middle of where I want to execute, which is the most annoying thing. Because I'm looking for buys above here and sells below here, but everything is just happening right here. So yeah, it could be waiting for that CPI. A lot of people looking forward to the CPI news here today. That's going to be at 8:30 a.m. I think arranged marriage is the best. It's like Christmas. You never know what you're going to get. We get our next 30-minute candle open up like this. This previous 30-minute here did like about 98 pips from wick to wick. Because if we get the next 30 do something like this, you can still get a trade here. Or even do this. Or come down like this. That would even be better. Yeah, but there's definitely going to be a big move simmering here. I reckon even if we break these lows, if it's really waiting for the CPI, we might have a strong push down, but then it'll come back into the range for New York session. And then you're going to have CPI volatility. Because it does feel like it's waiting now. It feels like it's waiting for the news. Because it hasn't yet even come really like close enough to breaking. You know, this would be the most furthest wick for it to break here. That would be by 33.41. It looks like a news range. Because I think otherwise we would have already had the move. Oh yeah, Woods can give you guys some advice about trying on shoes. Really good, really good. You know, like finding a girl. You said it's like what, trying on a pair of shoes. You gotta walk in them for a bit. No, he put it much nicer than I'm putting it. Really good advice there. Yeah, it's going to push down with nothing to stop it. Indeed, sir, indeed. That 4-hour flip plus 4-hour... I mean, that daily flip plus 4-hour clean range. That is the main move, I would say. Like, if we just look at gold for what it is today, a lot of traders are going to be looking at something similar like that. You know, trading is a very lonely game. But, you know, the good thing is, like, when you have a simplified approach to markets, you know, we're all looking at the same thing, correct? Like, everybody, it doesn't matter if you trade whatever system it is that you trade, we can all agree that the markets are moving sideways right now. Sure, we got a bunch of sell orders here. Like, imagine if you could see sell orders. Probably have a bunch of sell stops down over here by these lows on that daily flip. Still, we're not taking entry, sir. I'm waiting for your advice. You think a short sell is high probability? Check the last CPI. It was on the 15th of July, almost the same PA. Oh, nice. Yeah, 15th July over here. 15th July just ranged. True, we just ranged all the way up until pre-New York. You see, that's exactly what I mean, chat. Pre-NY is coming in the next 40 minutes. So this was from 6 a.m. Eastern. You see, now you started to have the movement. But unfortunately, I'm not streaming during this time. I'm going to go eat something and then I'm going to see the market move. You know, that's how I break up my day, because I understand how price is supposed to move during pre-London, London, and pre-New York. But yeah, we did look like it ranged for a bit, just bouncing off the ranges. Nice little sells, buys, then distributed down. And I think on the 15th of July, we also got some negative numbers. It should have been. So 15th of July, yeah, we got 0.2%. So we got negative numbers on the dollar, but price still moved down on gold. So you see, it's kind of like a hit and a miss over here. So that's why I'm not too focused on trading the CPI, of course. This was the CPI news here. At 8:30, you see the numbers came out negative for gold, should have moved up. It initially did move up and then it continued to move down. So it pushed up like 66 pips and then it continued to move down. So I guess you could have still made some profit from that move, but overall direction was bearish. Yeah, consolidation, same exact thing happening here today. Just leave the food for today. No, man, we gotta eat today. Gotta eat. London session is cooked. Hello, joining from SA. Welcome, Cody. Gotta eat some pips. You know, I didn't get any breakfast today. I didn't have any pips for breakfast. Unfortunately. No pips today. the market here did a small little fake out on me. You know, price moved up like this. So it's like, it's equivalent to a bully in school taking your lunch money. You know, so I got my lunch money here taken. Now that this is a point where I stand up to the bully now. So they're gonna go and confront the bully later on. Like, hey bro, that was not cool. And I'm gonna try and get my money back. I'm down here like 500 bucks here on the day. You know, just about like 1%. So we're gonna see. Head and shoulders on the 5. I'm telling you, chat, it'll be a beautiful sell-off. But you see, CPI is kind of ruining it. We could have already started moving if it wasn't for the CPI, though. But nice swing entries, you know. Congratulations to those of you who managed to take some kind of a entry over here. You know, still pretty nice. What espresso do you drink? What coffee do you drink? I think espresso in it. No, mate. I don't drink no coffee. I don't drink no coffee, sir. I don't smoke no cigarettes. Nothing. I don't drink energy drinks. I don't drink juice. I don't drink tea. I actually just mainly drink sparkling water and normal water. That's all that I drink. But I want to kind of get into cigars, you know? I want to get a really nice box of cigars just for special occasions. But I do nothing. Drink water, get enough sleep, work out, make money. That's all. This should be the break. I tried drinking matcha, but I didn't have patience for matcha. It's kind of a bit of a process to make it. Remember when I drank matcha on stream, guys? It was kind of helping for a bit, but I think I'd rather be tired and not have anything but water in my system. Just kind of push through it. Man, and also trading, man, trading can be so boring sometimes. You know, you just gotta sit here. Gotta sit here and eat some popcorns. Eat some popcorns while you wait. Man, and now that I'm working out, I can't even enjoy a beer. Because, you know, like when you work out, it's like setting fire to your muscles, right? You're setting fire, and as you're eating good protein, it's like you're throwing logs of wood into the fire to help that muscle protein, what does it call it? Protein synthesis to grow the muscle. So if you drink alcohol, that reduces, that's even if you drink like 2 beers, that reduces that process by like, you know, 20-30%. So it's like you work out just to reduce the effect, you know. And let's say in a week you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So that's how your muscle protein synthesis is going to look like. And then it crashes, and then you trade, and let's say you work out on Monday, then you work out again on Wednesday. So you're activating it again, the muscle growth. It lasts for maybe around 24-48 hours. And then you work out for the 3rd time of the week. So it's like, man, it's like you got to now decide whether you want to grow muscle or you're going to reduce that effort by drinking something. I think it's really good though. It's really good for discipline. Because if I have any vices, I do like to have a beer every now and then, you know, because trading can sometimes be quite stressful. So every now and then I do like to have a beer. Nothing too crazy though. But you do feel it on your body. Like even just one beer, you really feel how much your body just dehydrates and doesn't really like it so much. You know, it's crazy. It affects your deep sleep and everything, even just one beer. You know? Also, Joe Rogan speaks about this a lot, and it's very true. Like, when you're living a healthy lifestyle, you really do feel the effect. It's like taking a trade which is a fake out. You know, you take like a sell here and it just goes straight to stop loss. Man, it's like everything that's good for you in life is usually either requiring discipline or, you know, it's boring. Like literally everything that's good for you. Nobody likes to eat vegetables. You know, fruits are pretty nice, but all these good things require not a lot of pleasure. There's more business than pleasure. Working out, eating healthy. Nobody wants to do that. Following your trading rules. Nobody wants to do that. We all just like pleasure. But it's a reason it's set up like that. You know, because if everybody could achieve it, it wouldn't be special anymore. So you're taking a trade? No, I think you gotta go look for one of those channels which are always taking trades. Because I don't take trades like, you know, some people, they take trades off the seconds charts. I don't trade like that, sir. I'm waiting for a bit more direction. And I've already missed my trades. You know, when I came onto the stream, I thought price could come down here or at least move up above 33.55. So I've missed my trades, man. Like these are entry models here. These are sells over here. These are buys right here. But I'm missing my entry models as I'm waiting for what I want to see. Because, you know, with the London session, we've been seeing really good results with waiting for the markets to first move. So that's what I've been doing of late. Beer makes you pee all night? Yeah, you too. Sparkling water. What am I gonna eat? Just rice and chicken. Got some nice chicken thighs, some rice. Alcohol is for the weak. I gotta have something, you know, like what's his name again? Like Steve Harvey says, something's gotta give. You know? Something's gotta give. So I would rather have a beer at the end of the week than smoke a cigarette, smoke hookah, or smoke weed. You know, if I have to choose something, it'll probably be a beer at the end of the week or like a glass of wine or something. You know, something's got to give. You know, when you're super disciplined, man, sometimes you got to let loose. And, you know, it's good to let loose. It helps you think clearly as well. You know, sometimes when I do have my glass of wine or beer or whatever, it actually allows you to think more outside of the box than if you're always too cooked up. It's like even, you know, Einstein also had to solve some equations off LSD over there because, you know, he had to free his mind. You know, allowing yourself to think a little bit outside of the box is also not a bad thing. As long as you're not abusing it. You ever had jerk chicken? I don't think so. Wine equals mind lubrication. But dry wine, none of that sweet shit. Only good dry wine. Couple joints for you. Takes the edge off life, no issues. Stays away from it all. My brother smokes a lot of joints. I tell him it's not good for him, but you know, he can function off it, so it's pretty good. Like, he's still more productive than he's more productive or just as productive as anybody else who doesn't smoke weed. You know, but I think for the vast majority of people, it's just not a good thing. Hey, good morning, Frank. You dreamt that you backed 5K this morning. That's a nice dream. Now you come to the markets and price is consolidating. Awesome. Man, but this thing, gold is about a tank, chat. Like this, once you start breaking below that daily, really expecting a big dip. Under the influence of knowledge, not alcohol. Very good, my man. But what do they say? No, all work and no play makes Bill a dull boy. Knowledge is good, but too much knowledge, I don't know. So you know, the funny thing is sometimes you're gonna learn a lot from the less you know, if that makes sense. Because you know, in trading, the more you know, you kind of block yourself off from some things that you could have learned otherwise from just being a bit more fluid with the market. So that means if you're too rigid about the way you approach things, you might be missing you might be missing different angles. Yeah, that's a problem with academia as well. You know, academia is like, it's very rigid. There's a very rigid process towards certain things that sometimes it locks off a lot of other ideas. You know, and then only whenever there's like a shift or like some kind of new enlightenment, then people are more willing to listen to those ideas. And then maybe those get more actualized more in the future. So I say, like, you know, just take it easy. Take it easy. Take all your experiences in the market easy. Don't be too hard on yourself as well. You know, there's no right or wrong way of doing things. Like, everybody's just having a probability of having either a winning trade or a losing trade. You know, you must just follow your rules of what you believe, how the market should operate, and just, you know, preferably start journaling all of those positions. And then you're going to start properly thinking for yourself. Because, you know, sometimes people still get influenced. Because, you know, sometimes you might want to take that buy, but somebody else is thinking about taking a sell, and then your trade plays out. Then you're like, damn, I knew it. I should have taken that trade. Work hard now so you can party comfortable later. Yes. Let's see. I shorted GU. Do you think I should TP now? I think you gotta send a chart here on the Discord so we can see your trade. Let's see. Dollar finally broke out of the Asia range. We might get a little volume. Oh, nice. We tapped 200. Man, look at GJ. GJ came all the way to 200. Look how close we got to it. And then it started like pulling back again. Yeah, I'm telling you, chat, like this is like a magnet. So it's a pretty good example here to show you how certain levels in the market act like magnets. So see, our price has just been heading towards this point and then has its retracement. Yeah, we've tested this area quite a few times, but we have never yet broken it. Maybe today is going to be the day. You know, look at these rejection wicks here on the left-hand side. This is very important to understand because like some of these trades that I take are also based off of these psychological points that we see. You know, we sometimes get really nice confluences within the intraday trades. Looks like on this one, we were right below 3,400. So you got a 3,400 level over here. When we took these sells, and you're going to see like 3,400 holding very strong. It held strong even like throughout the market close last week. I think we were just below 3,400. You know, and then you see we're getting like beautiful confluence with structure. And then you get the sell-off. I nearly took a Gbpjpy before class for 200, but I chose to lose on DAX instead. Something's gotta give. You know, when I said also something's gotta give, like, you know, something's gotta give. You can't always be like a robot, fully disciplined all the time. Even in trading, it's the same thing. Like sometimes I get these really nice win streaks, but you always feel when you've been disciplined for long, you always feel like you want to reward yourself with a bad habit. You know, because a bad habit feels good. You guys feel a lot better when you take these lucky trades, you know, and they play out. But when you take like a disciplined trade, it feels more work, you know, you gotta put more work into that. But it feels really good to just execute on like a trade that you think was not the best trade and then that plays out. You know, for me, that still feels good than actually getting like WWW following my rules. Like, honestly, sometimes I just want to get lucky. So, you know, something's gotta give. Something's gotta give. Eventually, you're gonna break your rules because, you know, you're not a robot and you can't be perfect all the time. You are gonna make mistakes. Because the market's not a perfect place either, you know. So it puts you in certain scenarios where it's like a very unique scenario that your plan maybe might not account for a certain thing that happens, and you know you can't be perfect, but you just gotta keep repeating it. But that's how it feels. You know, you gotta win a lot, and then you want to take a risky trade. Because this is the reason why majority of people are not profitable, because it's like it requires a high level of discipline. David, thank you for the sub. It determines a high level of discipline. But you know, I think experience helps you to take those riskier trades. Those little gambling trades that we like to take every now and then. Experience actually helps you get away with a good amount of them as well. I feel like this thing should be coming down anytime soon here. Because I'm seeing like a small little liquidity grab that just happened on the 5-minute. They'll break above these highs by 33.49. If you could just start ripping down, that would be beautiful now. But you see, this is going to be a short-term... I think this is going to be a short-term move below here. Because we still got CPI, correct? Unless we start just moving like we did on July 15th. Remember July 15th? Price had already just started moving down into the CPI. Unless we just do the same thing as this. You can come over here. Oh, how come I can't go back? See this? How it started moving? Look at the clock right now. It's 5:44. And this was starting to move here at around 6 a.m. Eastern. So, you know, we should be moving in like the next 15 minutes. Maybe we're going to start to see a trickle like this. A similar thing like this start to kick in. And then that's when the CPI came out last time. So it came out after sort of like price insider distributing. And then it came into the New York session and then it continued moving down. Luckily, it only did half risk as I could monitor it. W on the risk management. Very nice. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. I like. Today we have a great success. A great success below 33.41. All right, chat. I'm thinking I'm just gonna end the stream here. I'm gonna go eat some. I'm gonna eat some, and then hopefully price is gonna move. You know, and then we're gonna see what we can do. But yeah, that's my analysis here, guys. I think like as we're coming into pre-NY now, maybe some buys could play out here above 33.51. There's still about like a 26 pip range, but you've already had 1, 2, 3 back-to-back trades. So I don't know about the fourth one, but the main objective is below 33.41 wick over there on the daily. Or if the daily can come back above 33.55 and then start to break above these highs, and then we're going to start seeing some bit more direction. But as of right now, I'm just sitting on my hands until something interesting pops up. We'll see. If nothing really happens, then I might just consider trading the range then at that point. You know, I just might consider see if I can get anything within this area over here. Because this whole range is about 160 pips. So yeah, I mean, like, congratulations everybody who caught these other moves. But I will see y'all tomorrow for the London Open. Take care, everybody. Adios.
No time for this slip, homie. Now we bout to dip.